The Buffalo Bills addressed the defensive back position a lot more than what most people thought they would heading into free agency. Signing D. Alford, the slot corner previously with the Atlanta Falcons, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who could play both slot corner and safety previously with the Chicago Bears, and Geno Stone, another starting caliber safety. He's projected to be the backup behind Cole Bishop and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but nonetheless, they've really stacked up their defensive back room. And the best thing is, they're not done yet. Heading into this NFL draft, the Buffalo Bills are heavily linked to several defensive backs, bringing multiple talented players in for top 30 visits. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Breaking Tables. I'm your host, Alex, and today we've got a big show. Today we'll be diving deep into the defensive back position as we get closer to the NFL draft. The Buffalo Bills are heavily linked to defensive back prospects heading into this NFL draft, meeting with several on top 30 visits, as well as some at the Combine. Now, for those of you who don't know what a top 30 visit is, each NFL team pre-draft gets to meet with 30 players and bring them in for private visits. Last year, out of the 9 players they selected in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Bills brought in 6 of them for top 30 visits. Cornerback Maxwell Hairston drafted in the first round, defensive tackle TJ Sanders drafted in the second round, defensive tackle Deon Walker, tight end Jackson Hawes, cornerback Dorian Strong, and lastly, wide receiver Caden Prather, who's no longer with the team. Though the Buffalo Bills entered this draft with a very deep defensive back room, the outside cornerback position isn't that deep. Yes, you have one of the league's best duos in Christian Benford and Maxwell Hairston, but behind them, really nobody that can contribute. With Dorian Strong, there's still question marks of whether or not he'll be able to play, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills finish the draft with 2 cornerbacks selected. And the first player we'll be talking about in this video is Julian Neal, the cornerback out of Arkansas, standing tall at 6'2", 203 pounds with 32-inch arms. The Arkansas Razorback had himself a great combine performance, running a 4.49 40-yard dash, logging in an 11-foot 2-inch broad jump, first in his class out of all cornerbacks, resulting in a 9.48 relative athletic score. He also had himself a pretty strong 2025 campaign, making 55 tackles with 2 interceptions and 10 passes defended. Now, here's some things that stuck out to me when watching his tape at Arkansas. He's very long and athletic, 32-inch arms at 6'2", running that 4.49 40-yard dash. He doesn't shy away from contact whatsoever, and he's great at breaking up passes. He's also very good in press, very physical, a good tackler, good play and route recognition, and he's got some experience playing special teams. And just like with any prospect, he's got some things that he can work on. He lacks that elite speed, his hips are a little stiff for my liking, and his footwork has room to improve. After his combine performance, I have him down as a round 4 lock. It's very hard for me to see a reality where he slips out of that 4th round. It seems to be a reoccurring trend with these Arkansas Razorbacks prospects, whether that's Talon Green, the quarterback, who had himself a phenomenal combine performance, as well as Mike Washington Jr., the running back, Xavier Sori Jr., a very raw project linebacker who we talked about last episode, where we broke down several linebackers the Buffalo Bills are heavily linked to. And lastly, the player we're talking about right now, Julian Neal, a very long and athletic cornerback. I can't help but be reminded how the Buffalo Bills were in a similar situation last year in the 2025 NFL Draft. They were heavily linked to the edge rusher Landon Jackson, who they ended up taking in the 3rd round. They didn't end up bringing him in for a top 30 visit, but they were still heavily linked to him, having several meetings with him. And next up, for the second player we'll be talking about in this video, the cornerback out of Toledo, Andre Fuller. The Buffalo Bills brought him in for a top 30 visit as well as a private workout. He stands at 6'1", weighing in at 200 pounds, running a 4.49 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. And this past season, he logged in 49 tackles with 1 interception and 10 passes defended. Andre Fuller is very good at breaking up passes. He's also very physical and a textbook wrap-up tackler. And he's got good recovery speed, which allows him to make up ground after mishaps in coverage. Although he's very raw when it comes to his technique, he'll need to improve on his coverage skills as well as his footwork, and his hips are a little stiff. I would project Andre Fuller to go late day 3. I don't see him going undrafted after running that 4.49 40. In Buffalo, they might be yearning for another Toledo alumni after letting a fan favorite, Reggie Gilliam, go. Next up, we've got Jalon Kilgore, the defensive back out of South Carolina, one of my favorite prospects in this draft. The Buffalo Bills brought him in for a private workout and also met with him at the NFL Combine. He stands at 6'1", weighing in at 210 pounds with long 32-inch arms. At the NFL Combine, he tested as a safety. Now, translating to the NFL and really what he played in South Carolina, he projects more as a nickel corner or that star role, but nonetheless, he ran a 4.4 40-yard dash, and logged in a 10-foot, 10-inch broad jump, first in his class. He also recorded 16 reps on the bench press, second in his class. And all of that resulted in a near perfect 9.97 out of 10 RAS score. Kilgore is very physical and a good tackler. He's also got very good ball skills and good play and route recognition. Always seems to be in the right place at the right time. My only real knock on him is that he has stiffer hips, but as a nickel corner, that's a little less of a concern, especially when his coverage skills and the rest of his physical traits are extremely good. When it comes to his draft projection, I would say Jalon Kilgore will go in that second round, especially after that great combine performance. Now, it would be great to have him in Buffalo, but they did bring in D. Alford to be that slot corner. CJ Gardner-Johnson is also able to play slot and safety. Maybe Jalon Kilgore can sit behind CJ Gardner-Johnson and take over that safety role the following year. But my gut says that he's going to Houston. He was over in Houston on a top 30 visit recently, and that just seems like the most perfect fit. And now shifting our focus to the safety position, we've got AJ Haulcy out of LSU. You could also call it DBU. He came to Buffalo on a top 30 visit. He stands at 6 foot, 215 pounds, running a 4.52 40. And AJ Haulcy is coming off of an exceptional 2025 campaign, being named first team All-SEC, logging in 89 total tackles, 3 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. That's 8 interceptions in the last 2 seasons. When watching his tape at LSU, it was very hard to ignore his great ball skills, good route and play recognition, very physical and a great tackler, and great at breaking up passes. He may not have run the best 40-yard dash, but he's got great burst and in-game speed. I see Haulcy getting drafted in the middle of day 2, whether that's late round 2 or early round 3. I think he would fit in great as a backup for the first year in Buffalo, and then he would take over that starting spot next year in 2027. And for the 5th and last player we'll be covering in this video, it's none other than Dillon Theineman, the safety out of Oregon. The Buffalo Bills met with him at the Combine. He stands at 6 feet tall, weighing in at 201 pounds. He ran a 4.35 40 and logged in a 41-inch vertical, second in the class. He also recorded 18 reps on the bench press, which is first in the class, resulting in a 9.67 RAS score. And he had himself a great 2025 campaign, being named first team All Big Ten, recording 92 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 1 sack. And over his 3 years spent in college, he's got 8 interceptions and over 300 total tackles. When watching him play at Oregon, it's very easy to notice his great athleticism. His extremely good play recognition always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's very physical and he's great in coverage wherever he lines up, whether that's the box, the middle, or deep safety. He's extremely versatile. It's very hard to see a world where Dillon Theineman slips out of that first round, especially after running that 4.35 40-yard dash. Now, it makes sense why Buffalo met with him at the Combine before free agency. Obviously, they later brought in CJ Gardner-Johnson and Geno Stone, so it looks unlikely, but he carries himself into this draft as a very, very good prospect, and I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo just take best player available in Dillon Theineman. And before I let you guys go, I just wanted to talk about how different this Buffalo Bills defense is going to look in 2026. They brought in extremely physical players. D. Alford in the slot, CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's projected to be a safety, Geno Stone, safety, all very physical players. It seems like the new defensive coordinator, Jim Leonard, is really putting that emphasis on physicality and being aggressive, whereas Sean McDermott was a little more conservative. And when you look at these 5 prospects we just talked about, whether that's Julian Neal, Andre Fuller, Jalon Kilgore, AJ Haulcy, Dillon Theineman, all of them have one glaring trait in common, and that's physicality. When it comes to the safety position, I'm not sure if Buffalo will come away with one come draft time, but I do expect them to double dip at corner. The player that sticks out to me the most is Julian Neal out of Arkansas. He's got great traits, ran that 4.49 40, and he's got 32-inch arms. Very traitsy. He could serve as the backup behind Christian Benford and Maxwell Harrison and be a very good project in development. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which player sticks out to you the most and which one you want Buffalo to target come draft time. And make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys soon. Take care and go Bills.